Here he comes, here he comes. There's the trumpets, there's the drums, here he comes. Hopalong Cassidy, here he comes.
Yes, I'll be glad to take care of it for you. Goodbye. Well, what can I do for you, Jane?
Glad to see you haven't forgotten an old friend. Tom Stacy, meet Norm Blaine. Used to be Bill Fuller.
Always glad to make the acquaintance of one of Fuller's old cellmates. What do you want?
Who said we wanted anything? Just happened to read in the paper where you were engaged to marry Christine Russell, the daughter of the richest cattleman in these parts. So we dropped around to offer our congratulations for old time's sake.
Thanks. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm very busy.
Oh, now that's no way to treat an old pal. You really got yourself a nice setup here. Treasurer of the Cattlemen's Association, gonna marry an heiress. Still, you shouldn't forget that you and me were pretty close at one time.
I understand you two had a pretty sweet graft. What happened in the past is a dead issue. I've gone straight since serving out my time, and just in case there's any doubt in your minds, I'm still going to play it straight.
Oh, sure, Bill. That's the right way to do things.
Sure, Fuller was telling me he's sure glad to see you straighten yourself out. Then we have no further business with each other.
None, except one little item.
Watch yourselves.
Good morning, Norm.
Good morning, dear. Now, if there's anything further we can do for you gentlemen, don't hesitate to call on us.
There's a little cabin a couple of miles outside of Flat Rock. Meet us there after the office closes today.
I'm not meeting you anyplace.
Oh, yes, you are. And if you don't show, you're washed up in this town. And Miss Russell ain't gonna like that. We'll be seeing you.
What did those men want from you, dear?
Why do you ask that, Christine?
Please, don't snap at me that way. It isn't at all like you.
I didn't snap at you. Oh, if it sounded like it, I'm sorry. It's just that I have something on my mind, some business.
Aren't you even going to ask me to sit down?
Of course I am. Sorry.
I came into town today to buy some things for our wedding. I thought you might like to hear what they are.
I'm in no mood to talk about things like that now.
Oh.
Oh, it's just that I'm busy. You'll have to excuse me, please.
Mr. Blaine?
Forgive me, please, Christine.
Mr. Blaine?
Yes?
Would you come here a minute?
I'll be right there. Wait a moment.
My sidekick, Red Connors, and I never fail to get keen delight out of our trips from the Bar 20 into Twin Rivers. Most of the people were our friends, and only on rare occasions did anything out of the ordinary happen. On this trip, something very unpleasant was about to happen, although we didn't know it at the time.
Good morning, Hoppy.
We're going to have to watch them corners. One of these days, we're going to collide. Morning,
Good morning.
Good morning, Red.
Young lady, this is the first time I've had a chance to congratulate you on your engagement. May I wish you all the good luck you could wish yourself.
Thank you, Hoppy.
My speech ain't going to be quite as flowery as Hoppy's, but same goes for me, too.
That's nice of you, Red. Hoppy, do you know who those men are?
I never saw them before. Why do you ask?
Well, maybe it's only my imagination, but when I came here a few minutes ago to see Norman, those men were talking to him. Now, I couldn't hear what was being said, but I do know that Norman looked scared. And he isn't any coward, believe me, Hoppy.
I know that.
Well, anyway, after those men left the office, it was obvious to me that Norman, well, he wasn't quite himself. For the first time since we've known each other, he was downright curt and impatient with me.
Oh, maybe it's important business, but he's probably just got a sour stomach. You know, if you just give him a little pinch of soda and some water, I take it all the time.
Would it make you feel any better if I tried to find out what was going on?
Well, I really shouldn't butt into Norman's affairs. I have the utmost confidence in him, really I do. Forgive me for taking up your time, Hoppy, and thank you just the same. Good morning.
Good morning.
Red and I had come into town on business with the Bar 20 ranch, so we went about it. Busy as we were, what Christine had said stuck in my mind. I finally decided to check on the gentleman in question. I learned that they had registered as Lou Forler and Tom Stacy from St. Louis. I got off a telegram to the Missouri City. Then Red and I decided to head back to the ranch.
Hi, Norman.
Howdy, Hoppy. Hiya, Red.
Hi, Norm.
How things?
Oh, fine. Fine. Everything's great. Well, so long.
Come on. He's got something on his mind besides his hat.
Oh, now, Hoppy, you're getting worse than Miss Christine.
Maybe so, but I still think we should find out where he's heading.
I'm afraid something like this wasn't going to happen. I guess it ain't the first time I figured wrong.
Probably won't be the last either. Well, he's far enough away now. Let's go.
I told you he'd come. I'll bet he's plenty scared, too.
Well, why shouldn't he be? He's got everything to lose.
Now, you follow my lead.
I'm with you.
Come in, partner. We were expecting you.
We were interrupted this morning just when our little talk was getting most interesting. I don't know what you two are getting at, and what's more, I don't care. But whatever it is you've got on your mind, I don't want any part of it. That's pretty big talk for a guy who's in the spot you're in, eh, Lou?
Too big. I'll have to take you down a few pegs.
Now, hold on, Lou. Rough stuff isn't going to get you anywhere.
Well, it might, unless you're willing to listen to reason.
All right, what's on your mind? That's better.
Sit down. I'll make it short and sweet. We want $5,000.
5,000?
Yeah. The Cattlemen's Association is a rich outfit. You being treasurer shouldn't have any trouble getting your hands on that amount of dough.
Oh, but you're insane.
Why? It wouldn't be the first time you've taken money that didn't belong to you.
Forget it.
Now, wait a minute. Get this. You have $5,000 at this cabin by this time tomorrow, or you pack up and get ready to leave town.
Yes, and after that, if we ever catch up with you, you'll wish you'd never been born.
window. You get back there and hide. I'm going around the back.
Hold it, you.
Tell your friends to come out with their hands up or you'll come out head first.
You're in no position to give orders, mister. Get your hands up. Take his gun.
Leave that gun alone. Get over there, you. Come on.
I don't like nosy people. And that goes for you, too. Let's get out of here.
All right, let's go.
By the time Red and I regained consciousness, our quarry had taken flight. I decided on another step, the direct approach. I want to talk to you a minute, Blaine.
I'm sorry, Hoppy, but we're closed for the day.
What were you doing out at that cabin?
In a cabin? What do you mean?
Yeah, we saw you go in. We'd have seen you come out, too, except for some galoot stuck a bucket in my way.
There's no use denying you were there with a couple of men. We saw you, just as Red says. They saw us, too. In a few hours, I'll have a telegram here telling me all about them.
Yeah, Hoppy's only trying to help you if you're in any trouble. He can do it, too, seeing he's a sheriff.
Warner and Stacy are after you for something.
All I can say is that you're all wet.
Wait a minute.
All they wanted was the association to unload some cattle for them.
Oh, they could have talked about that while they were here. You didn't have to ride clear out there to talk about it. Norman, if you're afraid I'm going to find out about you being an ex-convict, forget it. I've known about it since the first day you got to Twin Rivers.
You have?
Certainly I have.
You'd be surprised how much Hoppy knows about what goes on around here.
Well, then I guess I might as well tell you all about it.
I wish you would. In the following hour, Norman told us the whole story of the land graft for which he and Forler were sent to prison, of their days in the penitentiary, and finally of his determination when he'd served out his time to come to Twin Rivers and make a fresh start. It wasn't a pretty story, but I had to admire the straightforwardness of the man.
So you see, Hoppy, one mistake or the slightest scandal, and I'm all through in this locality. These people trust me, and I don't want to let them down. Neither my employers, my friends, nor Christine.
I wouldn't want you to let him down either. I want to thank you for being so honest. Now I'll see what I can do for you.
Yeah, that goes for me, too. Hoppy and me'll think of something to do, won't we, Hoppy?
Sure.
Just to know that you're on my side helps a lot.
We'll keep in touch with you.
Well, thanks again.
Right. I got a telegram here that says you two are clearing out of town.
Yeah, and I got a lump on my head that says the same thing.
What kind of a telegram says that, mister?
It's from the warden of the Kansas State Penitentiary. Take a look.
Well, this says I was paroled.
But what you did today violates your parole. So I'm ordering you both out of town.
Well, that says you're the sheriff here. And no Cowtown official is ordering me to do anything.
Wait a minute. Nobody's going to call Hoppy a Cowtown official. Not while I'm around, anyway.
You've got nothing on me. That telegram says so.
So it does, but I got plenty on you today. Besides, I don't like the company you keep. So come along and nobody will get hurt.
Sit tight, Tom.
All right. I'm sitting tight.
Come out of there.
Oh, my. Who's going to pay for my broken dishes?
How much is it, Modi?
Well, 2 cups is at least 68 cents.
Pay her for her.
$5.
Just keep the change.
Well, who's going to pay for the suppers? You know they ordered 2 whole suppers, Mr. Cassidy.
2 whole suppers. Take it out of there. Come on, outside and on your horses. Red, come on. I figured when Red and I rode Forler and Stacy out of town last night, the matter was closed and Norman Blaine's reputation insured. But I was about to find out how wrong I was.
Something awful has happened, Hoppy.
What is it, Chris?
Well, last night Norman was visiting me. There was a knock at the door and he answered it. I couldn't see who was outside or hear what was said, but Norman appeared quite distressed. And then a moment later he told me he had to leave for a few minutes.
What happened then?
Well, he didn't come back last night. And when I went by his place a little while ago, he wouldn't let me in. In fact, he told me to go away. I'm afraid something's happened to him. That he's hurt or something.
Maybe them fellers came back.
I'm sure they did. Let's see what we can find out.
Thanks ever so much. Thanks again.
Don't worry about it. Norman Blaine wasn't in his room. We promised to let Christine know when we found out anything. I thought we ought to try the office of the Cattlemen's Association. Norman!
You dead? Jumping mackerel.
Did Forler and Stacy do this to you?
They came to Christine's last night,
What time was that?
around about 10 o'clock.
We ran them out of town about 8. They must have hid out for a couple of hours and then sneaked back.
They were at that cabin you saw us at yesterday.
Go on.
They beat me up for putting you on their trail. They gave me until 12 o'clock today to bring $5,000 out on the Flat Rock Road.
Where on the Flat Rock Road?
They didn't say. They said they'd meet me.
Say, maybe we could surprise them and do the meeting ourselves instead of him.
And do you think they'd show up? They're not that stupid.
I guess you're right, Hoppy.
Hoppy, I'm sunk.
Why do you say that, Norman?
In the first place, the association hasn't got $5,000. At least not where I could get my hands on it today. And in the next place, if they did have $5,000, I wouldn't steal it for Forler and Stacy or for anyone else.
Wait a minute. Maybe we can arrange to have them steal it.
What?
Oh, Hoppy's only joking. Imagine the sheriff fixing it for a couple of crooks to rob the Cattlemen's Association.
It sounds like a big joke, doesn't it? But it's such a big joke that at 12 o'clock you're going to be riding on the Flat Rock Road.
Huh?
Now, come on, let's get that face fixed up. At 12 o'clock, Norman rode along the Flat Rock Road. The object was to keep the rendezvous with the two ex-convicts. My plan was for Norman to pretend to want to play their game, to plead that they could get their 10,000, maybe even more, and still save Norman's reputation in Twin Rivers. Instead of stealing the money and turning it over to them, Norman promised to set the stage for them to hold up the office of the Cattlemen's Association. At first, this didn't sound good to the gentlemen in question, but their greed got the better of them. They would be at the office at 3 o'clock sharp. Unfortunately, we underestimated the cleverness of Forler and Stacy. Instead of waiting until the appointed time to ride into Twin Rivers, they followed right on Norman's heels. Obviously, they had suspected a trap, and they agreed if it proved to be a trap, then Norman was to die.
My darling, what happened to you?
Christine, you've got to get out of here right away.
I'm not moving an inch until you tell me what this mystery's all about.
I'll tell you everything tonight. Now, please go.
No. I want to know what happened to you and why.
Chris, I'd have to tell you everything about it anyway before we got married.
Why wait till 3 o'clock? Let's move in now.
Take it easy. We'll wait. There's your answer. We'll wait.
After what I've done, I couldn't blame you for calling off our engagement. I don't deserve anyone as fine as you. Naturally, I'd hate to lose you, but...
Oh, my dear. How can you think I'd ever let you go? What you did years ago doesn't matter. Since we've known each other, you've been fine and honorable and brave. Well, what you're doing now is just about the bravest thing I ever heard of. Oh, but darling, I'm afraid. If the plan you and Hoppy have made should turn out wrong...
Oh, but it can't go wrong. It's all arranged. That'll be Hoppy now. You're right on the dot. It's just 1 o'clock.
Hoppy and me's always on the dot. That's the way we work.
Chris, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
I'm staying here, Hoppy.
But you can't do that.
It's all right, Hoppy. Chris knows the whole story. She understands everything.
Well, I'm glad she does, but we don't know what's going to happen here in the next couple of hours. You'll have to leave, Chris. It's too dangerous. Please.
I understand. I'll go.
Oh, wait a minute. You better go out the front door just in case they're watching the place.
You're right.
Please be careful. All three of you.
Leave the door unlocked. Red and I'll be in this closet. You'll be at your desk. Where's Sandy?
Oh, I gave him the day off. He won't be back till tomorrow.
Good.
Long after 3 and no sign of them. They said they'd be here at 3 o'clock.
Well, I guess they're smarter than we thought they were.
Well, what happens now?
I guess we just wait. They were almost smart enough, but not quite. Porter decided we had called off the trap, or else there had been none in the first place. He decided to move in on Norman Blaine.
You know, I'd bet a suit of last year's underwear against an old broken washboard that they're still out there in that cabin.
That's pretty reckless gambling. What makes you so sure?
My instinct never fails me.
In this case, that's a good sign.
Where's the money?
It's in the safe.
Open it up.
It's already open.
It better be. Get your hands on the table and keep them there. Get into the closet. Get in the closet.
You're in no position to give orders, mister. Keep them covered, Red. Come in, Mr. Stacy. You're just in time for the party. Only it's going to be over at the jail. All right, Red, come on, let's take him.
Get into the closet.
Nice work.
Get the money.
All right, I've had enough.
Well, there's the end of a case of attempted robbery, as our friend over there will be willing to testify.
Hoppy, how can I ever thank you enough?
Or I.
You don't have to. Just be happy in the fact that your troubles are all over.
You're wrong there, Hoppy. Norm's troubles ain't over yet.
Well, how do you figure?
Easy enough. You're getting married, ain't you?
There he goes on his way down the moonlit trail to where cowboys race. Hop along, Cassidy. Hop along, Cassidy. He'll return soon again. There's no use to say goodbye until then.